top5rapwebsite.com. You already know what's going on. Vinyl of the week number 36. I feel like everyone got their vinyl of the GNX months ago, like a whole month ago. I just got mine, so apparently the Kendrick Lamar team is shipping the West Coast orders last, but that's perfectly fine. We got the GNX vinyl. So if you haven't seen my other vinyl of the week episodes, look in the description. I linked all of them there. It's basically just an album review, and I don't think I've ever reviewed this album. I've only reacted to it, my first listen reaction, like the very first time I heard it, which was an actual first listen reaction. You know, with some YouTubers, they be acting like they're reacting to something for the first time, but we can see that you've heard this before. So I've never actually properly reviewed this album and given my thoughts on it, except the first time I listened to it. So obviously it's been months since this came out, so I've had time to listen to it. So this is GNX, PG Lane, Interscope Records. I don't know if you can see that. No, you definitely can't see that text. I'll read it to you. PG Lane, Interscope Records. 2200 Colorado Ave, Santa Monica, California, which is in LA, Santa Monica. I saw people online saying, like, as people were getting their vinyls, saying this was made in Canada. I don't see that anywhere on this vinyl. This says Santa Monica, California. And let's show the vinyl. I'm gonna show y'all the vinyl first, and then I'm gonna give my album review. Hey y'all, I am a one-man show. I record, edit the video myself, create the thumbnail, everything. So hitting like and subscribe does help a bunch. Thanks so much. Back to the video. So boom, we got here the Grand National, which I'm not a huge car guy. Like, I do very basic maintenance on my car. Like, I get under the hood and stuff and underneath the car, but like, I just don't see the big deal with this car. Like, I don't, and I was listening to a Larry June song called Grand Nash Chronicles. Like, people love this car. It's just a car to me personally. But we got the sleeve here. You got Kendrick on one side, the Grand National on the other side. Let's see, how good you guys see this? I don't know if you can see here, it's just the songs, Squabble Up, Blocked Out Murals, the credits, and the features. And then let's get to the actual vinyl, see what this looks like here. We're gonna try to handle it very lightly. I just took it out the plastic for this video. So I got the blue vinyl. I don't know what your vinyl looks like. Side A, and then side B. It's kind of like the spokes on the Grand National, which is pretty cool. I've yet to play it. Like I said, I just took it out of the plastic. Very carefully. Okay, so that's the vinyl. I'm definitely going to give this a couple spins. My vinyl player, I have a Audio-Tech LPT60XB or something like that. I'll post a picture right here. Before we get to the actual album review, I also got the CD with it because I'm a huge CD person. I listen to and buy a lot of CDs. So this is the CD. A lot of people on YouTube, they'll show the vinyl. People ain't gonna have the vinyl and the CD. So here's the CD. Very unremarkable, like not the most grandiose CD art you've seen. It's just silver and it says GNX right here. And then there's a little booklet in here. There's a booklet right here, which is the cover art for the CD. And let's just open it up. Oh, another picture of Kendrick in this car. Someone tell me what's so great about this car. Is it like a V12 or something? I know it was they made limited presses of it. There's only so many of them. You got some album credits. Again, the ring lights shining directly on us. So I don't know if you're gonna see this because it's white against the light. Some album credits, more album credits, Part 6 GNX. And on the last page, we got Kenny in the Grand National. Okay, so boom. Okay, so CD, vinyl. I'm gonna put the CD down and I'm gonna hold the vinyl as I talk about the album. So I think this is a great album, Kendrick Lamar GNX. I thought this was exactly what Kendrick needed following Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. And now that I have this vinyl, I'll own every single Kendrick Lamar album. I own all of them. There was even a Section 80 when it first came out that I'm pretty sure that's like in my dad's garage somewhere. I have that too. But I own every Kendrick album now except Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers because I really don't like that album like that. But anyways, I thought this was a great album. Album review time. I thought this is a great album. Even on my first listen, I said this was really good. I thought that this is what Kendrick needed following Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. I was saying I want Kendrick to release a more casual album. Because, you know, Kendrick's music, it's also conceptual and thematic. And there's just like so much there in terms of the message to break down. And Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers was so heavy. I was just like, cool, that's cool. And, you know, it's cool. But next time around, next album, please, let's just get something with some bangers. let's just, have some fun on the next album. I think I actually said this at the end of my Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers review. So this is what GNX is. It's not conceptual at all. There's really nothing to really break down. There's certain songs like Man at the Garden and Gloria where there is something to break down. But in terms of the message conceptually, it's the lightest Kendrick has ever gone. This is like the most accessible Kendrick Lamar project. And I'm including the Kendrick Lamar EP. I'm including Overly Dedicated. This is the most accessible. There's really no message here. He's kind of just talking his ish, following the Drake beef. This is exactly what Kendrick needed. This is what I think. And it's like he saw my video and listened. So anyways, that's that. Now let's get to the criticisms. So if you're like a Kendrick Lamar meat writer, like Kendrick Lamar is my favorite rapper. He's been my favorite rapper since like 09, 2010. But if you're like a meat writer who feels like no one should be able to talk crazy about the God and everything, you'll probably want to click off this video now because it's an album review. I'm going to criticize it too. So conceptually, this is Kendrick Lamar's weakest album conceptually. And I'd say weakest in quotes because it's not a weak album, but conceptually, there's really nothing there, right? Which is fine. But that can also be a knock to some people. I understand, especially if you're a longtime Kendrick fan. This album conceptually is not what you're used to coming from him. But more so, I want to speak on the features. One of the biggest criticisms I have of this album is the features. I don't think the features add anything. The rap features, not SZA, because SZA does her thing. And I'm not even talking about the Dodger Blue song with Wally the Sensei and Roddy Ricch. I'm talking about the rap features. I'm talking about Lefty Gunplay, Dodie Six, Peso, Hit a J3, Young Threat, AZ Chike. The rap features add absolutely nothing for me. The rap features on this album, it's not even that they add nothing. They're not needed. And I think in some instances, the rap features make the songs worse. Like a lot of these songs where Kendrick features rappers, let me just pull out this so I can see like the songs. A lot of these songs where rappers are featured alongside Kendrick, the song would just be better off if it was just Kendrick on it. Like I heard a version of Peekaboo where it was just Kendrick's parts. And I was like, this is just as fire. This is just as fire as the original version of the song, which features AZ Chike. And so, yeah, the rap features really don't add much to me. I think the rap feature that adds the most, and follow me here, because what I'm going to say is crazy, scary, spooky, hilarious, right? But the rap feature that adds the most out of all of them is Lefty Gunplay. Allow me to explain. I don't think Lefty Gunplay went on the song TV Off, went in the studio and just said crazy, scary, spooky, hilarious.
Crazy, scary, spooky, hilarious.
I think he might have spat a whole verse. He might have had a whole thing that he done. But the only parts that were worth keeping were those 3 or 4 words. And more on Lefty Gunplay as a rapper later. But the crazy, scary, spooky, hilarious, it adds something to TV Off. People remember that part. It's like a worthwhile part of the song that people are going to hear and recite. So even though Lefty Gunplay really didn't do much on that song, on the final version, I mean, he might have gone in the studio and recorded a whole 50 bar type thing. And people at PG Lang was like, yeah, this is weak. We gonna keep this little section right here.
Crazy, scary, spooky, hilarious.
But he adds something. Lefty Gunplay's, it's a memorable part, right? When I hear like Peekaboo, when I hear Hey Now, which features Dodie Six, like these songs would be better if they were just Kendrick. They would be better, if not the exact same, if they were just Kendrick. Even if you don't even add verses, if you just take out the features and just keep Kendrick's part and make it a shorter song, the song still is what it is. Like, and this is what I mean by the features don't add much. I'm not gonna even speak on the track number 11, the title track GNX, which features Hit a J3, Young Threat, and Peso. It's a terrible song. If you watch my first listen reaction to this album,
tell him Kendrick did it. Hey, who showed you how to run a blitz? Tell him Kendrick did it.
This got to be a joke, right?
I broke your heart and you the type to go and fix it. I want to speak if you ain't talking about no tickets.
You can't follow up the Heart Part 6 with this. I'm not gonna lie to you.
You know it? Have you ever had to flip?
No, I can't with this. I'm not gonna lie to you. Track number 12, Gloria. This is like the worst of all Kendrick's albums and projects, including his mixtapes. This is the worst song. GNX, the title track, is the worst song that I've ever heard Kendrick Lamar record. If you watch my first listen reaction, I've never listened to a Kendrick album and be like, nah, I'm skipping this. And then also content wise. So when I look at some of these features, I just try to think like, what is Kendrick trying to do by featuring these guys? Because obviously none of these rappers are on his level. These are not people he usually works with, or not even people who are particularly hot in California right now. These aren't even people who are like particularly good or putting out good messaging. It's not like they're like someone like a D1 or a Lecrae where they have maybe they're not popular, they're not popping, but they have a great message. These rap features are none of that. These are just street guys who are on a Kendrick album rapping about street stuff. So to me, I try to think like, why did Kendrick pick these people for this album? There are so many other rappers that Kendrick could have put on if he wanted to go all West Coast. There's even street rappers who are better than this, who have better music, who have better messaging, like Westside Boogie, for example, right? So a lot of these guys. Now, I did hear the opinion that some people had, like, oh, Kendrick is trying to unite certain hoods and gangs in California, so he has these people on. Cool. But I think that could have been accomplished with better rappers. And you're not really going to understand what I'm saying fully. I challenge you all to do this, right? You're not going to understand what I'm saying fully until you go listen to these guys' solo music. Go listen to Lefty Gunplay's music, listen to Dodie Six music, and listen to AZ, Chike, Young Threat, Etta J3, and Peso's music. Go to YouTube right now and pull up some of their solo music. It is not good. And I know everything's subjective, right? So I'm just saying what I think subjectively. The music is not good. Their music's not, like the messaging that they put in their music is inconsistent with the messaging that's in all of Kendrick's albums, which is anti-violence, anti-gang. Like when Kendrick talks about gangs, he's more so talking about how it's like kind of a nuisance to him his whole life, how he's always getting mixed into stuff because of the people he hangs around with. And it's really something that he could do without. This is how he talks about Compton in his earlier music. Go listen to Overly Dedicated. Go watch this video I did of the song Average Joe, where I break all this down. So to hear these guys talking street stuff, I'm gonna FaceTime my op, I'm up the street, after we saw a LA rapper get killed on FaceTime, to hear a guy talk about, oh, I'm tagging toes, I'm toe tagging, which is basically glorifying like I'm rapping about killing people. Or even like AZ Chike, like there's a place for his music. I just don't think it's on a Kendrick album. There's just certain things I'm not expecting to hear or don't want to hear in a Kendrick album. Again, this is just me as a music snob and as a longtime listener of Kendrick. I'm allowed to have my opinion. So when AZ Chike is talking about like, yo, I'm playing with my thumb in her butthole and I'm playing with her butthole and all this, there's a set of listeners who hear that and they're like, yes. Maybe they listen to Future, who also talks about putting fingers in buttholes. Boss Man D-Lo, whoever be talking about that. But as someone who listens to Kendrick, I'm not listening to a dude rapping about, oh yeah, buttholes. I put my finger in her butthole. I'm not listening to that. Like, yeah, this is what I want out of my Kendrick album. I'm hearing this and I'm just like, okay, like this is different. Like, try not to judge. And even on GNX, some of those lyrics, to hear this on a Kendrick album for me, it's not what I'm used to. Now, there's a place in rap for these type of guys, but it's not a place that I'm really gonna listen to that much. So when I go into a Kendrick album, and if you're a long-time Kendrick fan, you go into a Kendrick album, there are certain things you're expecting. There are certain things Kendrick surprises you with. And then here we get something that is just inconsistent with what Kendrick raps about. I wanna make a video game parallel. Let me yap for another 2 minutes, because I know some people are gonna hear this, again, the meat writers, and be like, oh, you cannot critique Kendrick, he's God and everything. I'm not saying the album is bad because of this. There's a video game called Dragon Age, right? And the newest Dragon Age, there's like 4 Dragon Age games. The newest one just came out, Dragon Age Veilguard. People and fans of Dragon Age, the series, did not like Veilguard, the newest edition, because it's inconsistent with the previous Dragon Ages. In the Dragon Age Origins, you could be an a-hole, you can be a nice guy, you can kill off your team members, you can there's like a whole range of options for you to customize your character that is limited in Dragon Age the Veilguard, the most recent one. So people do not like that game. Longtime fans of the game don't like it. Now, technically, is Dragon Age Veilguard a bad game? No. Like the graphics are good, the combat, the gameplay is responsive, but fans of Dragon Age will tell you it's not Dragon Age though. It doesn't feel like Dragon Age. I'm making this parallel with Kendrick's albums. These features and what they're talking about, for me, as a longtime Kendrick fan, again, like the longtime Dragon Age fan, it's not what I'm accustomed to hearing or expecting hearing, and it's not even really something I want to hear. I've made this critique before, and then people started talking about, oh, well, Malcolm X said, and I don't know what people were talking about. They're trying to spin it like I'm trying to say I don't want street rappers or gang members on Kendrick album, which is silly because on Kendrick's earlier albums, there's Schoolboy Q, there's Ab-Soul, there's J-Rock, and they're from where they're from, right? But J-Rock, Schoolboy Q, Ab-Soul, they all bring something introspective. Like when you listen to Money Trees, it's not just glorifying violence. I'm FaceTiming my ops and all this. It's not just that. Digging deeper because he's rapping with Kendrick Lamar. So he knows, he kind of feels a challenge, like, let me step it up a little bit. And I mentioned this in one of my recent videos about YG, how on YG's album, My Crazy Life, on the song Really Be, which features Kendrick, YG stepped it up. His vulnerability, his introspection, because he's on a song with Kendrick. These features did not do that. So for me, the rap features, now Wally the Sensei and the features on Dodger Blue and then SZA, those are perfectly fine, right? I'm talking specifically about the rap features. So I can actually, I can go without every single rap feature on this album, except the Lefty Gunplay, crazy, scary, spooky, hilarious. So I hope now you understand the point that I was making, because that is actually a worthwhile part of that song, albeit short. It's actually a worthwhile part of that song. And I know some people are gonna say, and I'm open to the debate, you guys know I'm open to debate in comments, well, Kendrick is trying to give these guys a chance. He's trying to get them out the hood. He's a grown man, by the way. He's trying to get them out the hood. He's trying to, so they can get better and do better. Again, I challenge you. Go listen to Dodie Six's music. And Dodie Six actually has some songs that I think are palatable. Go listen to Hitta J3's music. He's got a new song it's about killing people.
Hey, hit a man, pop it to him. Pop it.
Go listen to AZ Chike's music, and then go listen to, you already said Dodie Six. Go listen to their music. Just go on YouTube and type it in. Tell me if Kendrick has inspired them to dig deeper in their music. Nah, it's a bunch of murder raps. Not really AZ Chike. He does what he does. He has like his lane as like a party MC. But it's almost like Kendrick gave these guys such an alley-oop, and instead of taking it and being like, yo, Kendrick came up, Kendrick never compromised on any of his albums. He kept it introspect. He made the music that he wanted to make. He didn't bend, he didn't break. He did it his own way. I'm gonna do it my way too. Instead of just leaning into the BS. They were just like, they didn't get that message at all. They was like, we're just gonna continue making BS. So if featuring these person, if that's your argument, you'll feature these people, this is gonna be for the good of the city because they're gonna come out and they're gonna make different music. Kendrick's gonna give them a new perspective. That did not happen. Go listen to their recent, I challenge you, listen to their music, bro. And shout out to Hitta J3, I have no issue with them. It's a song and a video just about killing people. So for me, I'm just saying for me on a Kendrick album, there's a lane for that. But as a longtime Kendrick listener, I don't want to hear that on a Kendrick album. There are times where I want to listen to that music, like at the gym or something, or I may throw it on, but it's not what I'm, like the Dragon Age comparison, it's not a bad game, it's just not what I'm expecting when I plug in Dragon Age. So anyways, those are my criticism. Let me know what y'all think. I think firmly, now that time has passed, I would give this album firmly 4 out of 5 stars. This is better than Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Kendrick's discography is so strong, I can't put it any higher than that. And I think a lot of people overlook the Kendrick Lamar EP. That's a great project. It stands to this day. And it has that messaging that I'm talking about. I can't put this higher, for sure I'm not putting this higher than Overly Dedicated, and it's definitely not better than Section 80 or Good Kid, Mad City. So even though I think this is a great album, Kendrick's discography is so strong, I gotta say this is second to last. If I were to rank Kendrick's discography, GNX will be second to last, but that does not mean it's not good. It's a great album, man. So anyway, what do y'all think? Do you hate me yet? It's fine. Post it in the comments. Did you get your vinyl? Is your vinyl the color blue? It almost feels like it should be red, right? I mean, you know, Compton and everything. I don't know. So anyway, that's all I got for today. Vinyl of the week number 36. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Top5rapwebsite.com. Peace.